everyone and welcome to my channel. So this is the very first video of my uni vlogathon. I hope you're as excited as I am, because I am very excited about this. So basically the idea of this is for me to try and fit as many uni videos as possible before freshers, and then at the very end of my vlogathon I will be sending out a few prizes. So there's going to be a giveaway at the end of this vlogathon. So I'm really excited about that, and I hope that along the way you get to hear my experiences, learn new things about uni, and if you have any questions I might do the odd Q&A here and there. So overall I am really excited. A lot of people have been asking me to do more uni videos, and I really want to just push out as much information as possible before freshers, because I remember when I was about to be a fresher and I was just trying to find out as much information as possible. I am just going to do a whole series that hopefully will help you. I go to the University of Nottingham, so if you are planning on going to that uni, this will help specifically for your uni. But if you are not going to University of Nottingham, I hope that the tips that I give you are relevant to the universities that you are planning to go to. So this is going to be a part 1, or a video 1, or whatever you want to call it, of the uni vlogathon. This one is going to be about accommodation. So if you have watched me previously, you would know that I lived first year at St. Peter's Court, which is one of the halls at University of Nottingham. It's not on campus, it's just outside of campus, Jubilee campus to be precise, but it is not far from Uni Park campus as well. Why is there so many transport systems and everything in my house? Oh my god. So I'm gonna split this up into different segments of accommodation. I will probably split up into the actual living part, so you know, the types of things to bring, the types of things that I found useful, the type of advice I'd give you for living away from home, that type of stuff. And then the other part of this will be the actual social aspect of the accommodation I lived at, and some of the differences between my accommodation and some of the other accommodations. So let's start off with the living part. I might start from the bit just before uni where I'm gathering all of my stuff. I'm buying my things. The top 3 places which I bought my stuff from was IKEA. I think I went to IKEA about 3 or 4 times. IKEA is one of those places, it has everything you need to survive. All right, so IKEA, I think Costco, everything is in bulk. I love it. There were some things that I bought from Costco that I still didn't finish, and it had been the end of my first year. Costco, if you're gonna buy things in bulk, buy it from Costco, because it actually works out cheaper than if you was to buy it individually. I remember I bought a packet of toothpaste from Costco. I just went to go and get it. So it looks something like this. Imagine there were 4 here and it was all wrapped up. So I had like this, and this lasted me pretty much the whole year, rather than getting a new toothpaste every time I needed new toothpaste. I also bought bulk of things like noodles, staple goods. When I mean staple, I mean like rice, pasta, and just bulk. If you need bulk, Costco is a good place to go. And then the final place is just a regular supermarket. You'd be surprised with the amount of things you can actually just get from the supermarket. You would think you'd have to go to these special places to get certain stuff, you know, oh, I need the top of the range cooking equipment and stuff. Sometimes you get the best, you know, price wise from just a regular supermarket. So those are the top 3 places I'd recommend to get in your things. And I'd also say that if you're going to go to university, make sure that you buy the essential things first. Oh my god, I forgot to mention Nottingham and like all the actual places where you get your duvets and pillows. Make sure you go to those places first, because especially in summer, you'd be surprised with how quickly things run out, because all the uni students are thinking to do the same thing. So make sure you get the essentials first, you know, stuff like your cooking equipment, your bedding, those type of things. And then stuff like decor, stuff to make your room nice, make sure you bring it, but that should be something that you prioritize or think about after all of the essentials. I was under Unite Students, so we had like an app, and on that app, that was kind of like how we found out our flatmates, how many people we're sharing with. I think it changed just before results day, and it changed just after results day. So because it changes sometimes depending on options, or you know, sometimes people change blocks or something like that, but nearer to the end, whoever is actually on that app is usually the people you're sharing a flat with. I would definitely recommend having discussions with your flatmates before you actually go there. I'm so glad that I did that, because it really helps me to gauge, you know, what type of things I should bring to share amongst the flatmates, but also like what type of person people are as well. We spent a lot of time with each other, I'd say, partly to do with COVID, because you know, there was a rule where you can't actually leave your household, but also the fact that we just got along really well, and I'd highly recommend getting on with your flatmates. Now, I can't say you have to force it, because, you know, sometimes things just happen and you just don't get along. I was blessed to actually get along with mine, but a happy life is when you get along with your flatmates. I'm not even joking with you. Your whole university experience, okay, not the whole university experience, maybe a big portion of it, yeah, it's to do with your actual living environment, and part of that living environment is your flatmate. So this brings me on to the whole thing about communication. Now, my experience of communication was not too bad, because I feel as though throughout my life I have had to learn how to communicate with a group. I have a sister, so I'm not the only child. I do also have to learn to communicate with her in terms of sharing a household with her, obviously my parents as well, but also having a bigger extended family. I have to learn how to communicate with them, my friends, learning to keep in contact with them, and not just the keeping in contact aspect of it, but also learning how to talk to different types of people. When you get to university, not everyone is going to be from where you're from, so you're going to have to learn how to adjust with different people, but also learning how to communicate directly without sounding rude or bossy or really forceful. Living at St. Peter's Court, I loved it. I thought it was so eventful. I'm gonna move on to the social aspect of it in a minute, but I would say in terms of things like cooking, I am not that big of a cooker. I love to eat, I love food, but when it comes to cooking, sometimes it can just seem a bit of a chore. One thing that helped me quite a lot was cooking in bulk. I found that when I cooked and I did meal prep at the start of the week, and I prepared how much I was going to eat a certain day and what I was going to eat on a certain day, that definitely helped me. In terms of food, if you're worried about food, you're going self-catered, you're not really too sure, learn a few recipes before you get to university, and that will definitely help. Now, in terms of the actual living arrangement, I lived in Old Block, which is the original block at St. Peter's Court, and then there was also a new block, which was the building built slightly after new block. Why was that such a tongue twist? That really didn't have to be. Yeah, so there's Old Block and New Block. I lived in Old Block. I found that a lot of the rooms in Old Block tend to be single bed, but in terms of the space, I had so much space in my room. I love the fact that I had so much space, especially the fact that I do filming and stuff like that for YouTube. I needed the room, I needed storage space, I needed a space for me to separate my areas. I also did a rooms haul, so if you are interested in what my room looked like, that would be there. But I'd say with New Block, you tend to find double beds, 3/4 beds, but the space is slightly smaller, but it's slightly got a bit of a more modern twist to it, I would say. So it's really up to you what type of room you're going to go for. There's also the studio as well, where you have your kitchen, your bathroom, all in the same place as where you live. If it wasn't COVID and I was to study on campus, Jubilee campus was literally a 5-minute walk away from where I lived. So in terms of where I studied, it was so convenient. I think at the start I did have seminars, so I really did feel that sense of like, it's so close, you guys have to go to the main campus, like I'm so close. Like, I definitely felt it when I had to go for seminars, but I feel like next year, if I have more in-persons, I'll get to feel the benefits of living close to Jubilee campus. And then there's also the fact that I don't live directly on campus, but because I don't live directly on campus, it means that I'm able to commute to city centre a lot easier than, say, the people who live on campus. I am a self-catered accommodation, so that's probably why we're off campus. But I also think that just St. Peter's Court as a whole has an atmosphere to it that I can't really explain. Like, I'm the type of person where I like to be surrounded by different types of people, and I found that St. Peter's Court was just so diverse. It was so multicultural. It was so different. Like, you'll get so many different types of people. Even within my flat, there were different cultures, different beliefs, I just love the fact that there were so many differences, and I think that also gives you something to talk about and gives you something to learn about. Although there were lots of differences, I found that there was a lot of people at St. Peter's Court that I actually related to, and I really love the fact that St. Peter's Court was almost like its own little community, even though it's not a main campus. I'm gonna see if I can find a few videos here and there which I can kind of insert across the page if I can, but there were just so many different times where I had met people from SPC, where we would go out to eat, we would go and play sport, like we would go into main campus. Like, there was just so much going on, and I can't even put my mind onto something specific because there were just so many things that we got involved with. But in terms of like the social life at SPC, to be honest, I wouldn't really be concerned because that place is like a social hub. You know, there's so much going on. If I was to give a bit of advice, it would probably be that when you do go to St. Peter's Court, it doesn't even have to be St. Peter's Court, I would just say any accommodation, it is so important that you make your room your comfort zone. Like, I can't stress this enough. I feel like people say, you know, make it comfortable, make it you, but I mean it so seriously. Like, make sure your room is a place that you feel comfortable, because it is very easy to you know, go into your kitchen and there's people there, or go into a different flat and there's people there, go outside, there's people there. Your room is your only real place that is for you. That's where you sleep, that is where you get ready. You need to make sure that your room is somewhere you feel comfortable, so that if university is getting a bit too intense for you and you just need that place to rest, you just want somewhere to binge watch Netflix, that should be the place where you can just zone out and be at rest. If you are a bit worried about making friends at St. Peter's Court, or just generally at uni, I would say that don't worry, because the moment you get to university, the most important thing is about putting yourself out there and stepping outside of your comfort zone. Now, how I said that your room is your comfort zone, I said make your room your comfort zone, but I didn't say you need to stay there for the rest of your life. I didn't say you need to stay there for the rest of your uni life. Make sure you do eventually, you know, go outside of your room. Make sure that you do try new things. Places that I would highly recommend to look out for if you are like a bit unsure as to where everyone is, you know, check communal areas like common rooms, reception, just outside your accommodation. If you live on campus, check places like student union, check events, societies. Obviously, if you're not really a society person, sports, which is still technically a society, but we're not going to get into that. And then just put yourself out there. You know, you're not at university for that long, and you're definitely not going to be a fresher for that long, so just make this time count. And stuff like fear and anxiety, it's crippling, but don't let it overpower your whole experience, because you don't want it to get to end of first year and you're thinking like, I didn't do anything, I didn't meet any new people, and I didn't join anything. I am going to soon be releasing the second part of my vlogathon, which will be about social life, so stay tuned for that. If you are really interested, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and make sure that you share with people that are going to be going to university as well. If you have any questions, or you have anything that you want me to cover, leave them in the comment section down below. Make sure you put your post notifications on so you know when I upload. But yeah, that's it until my next vlogathon.